Hey everybody, it's Rob here with Drew on the porch.
Fucking spilled all over myself.
It's a great way to start it. Spooky spills in our first October episode. We got a Scottish style ale. This is Dudes with Brews.
I just watched this fucking sweatshirt.
Well,
Intro.
watch that intro.
Dudes with Brews on a Porch presents to you another edition of Strange Brews, Conspiracies, Murder, Ghost Stories, Aliens. They're all coming to get you, my dears.
All right, yeah. So we're sitting here on the porch. We're drinking some Stone Arch handcrafted beers, Scottish style ale.
Sounds better. All right, there we go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's a medium-bodied amber, earthy beer with low bitterness and a touch of caramel sweetness. Or is it caramel sweetness? I know we went over this a while ago. Apparently, I say caramel. Very satisfying and pairs well with many foods.
You know what is not satisfying?
Spilling it all over your new sweatshirt.
It's a nice disgruntled brewing sweatshirt. You like it? The hockey style?
Yeah, I noticed that right away.
It's from Perham, Minnesota. Little Hickville, Minnesota. A good place. Well, Rob, describe this beer.
Well, I don't even see the, do you see the...
No, IBUs and ABVs not on there.
All right, cool. Well, this is a darker, looks like a root beer-ish, almost like a, not root beer, it's not dark enough, maybe like a cream soda.
Cream soda, a little darker cream soda.
It's very
I'm going to be honest, like
color.
the Scottish ales I've had, I'm not always like too fond of. They're okay. I haven't tried this one, so I'm going to try it.
It's got a very interesting smell. You can smell it. It smells kind of like Scotch, doesn't it? Just a little bit.
I'm
don't
going to
even
be
think
honest.
I don't think it's supposed to have Scotch in it.
I don't know
but
what
it does
I don't know
have
what
that
Scotch
smell.
smells like. I know it tastes like shit though.
It's got that sweet smell to it.
You like Scotch, don't you?
I
Right?
do. Yeah.
It's got like I get the caramel little kick, I guess.
It's been so long since I've drank Scotch.
It tastes like a Scottish ale. It does. Like it's pretty.
Yeah.
It seems pretty standard to me.
It doesn't have.
Did you say it's from Stone Arch, right?
Stone Arch? Yep.
From Appleton, Wisconsin.
I didn't say Appleton, but yeah, it's from Appleton.
45 minutes north of us or so. Nice little spot. We went there on the Hot Passport journey. Not you, but Chris and I.
Oh, my
you were
bad.
there in spirit, though.
Yes.
It's in the same building as the Skyline.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. That it's
Yeah,
got
which
the
is pretty sweet.
Comedy place, yeah. So you got a comedy, and brewing.
Yeah, so there's a comedy club upstairs, and then there's a fucking brewery, and they have like a restaurant and stuff downstairs, which is pretty sweet.
That's a hell of
Great combination.
That's what we call a Wisconsin weekend,
Yeah, maybe.
right? Mm-hmm. So the intro is different today.
Doing the scary stuff. But before we get into that, Rob, I want to brush on one thing that we talked about last week.
All right.
Remember when I came up with the plan, Me Runsies?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a real thing now.
Yeah, it's been created.
A logo's going to be made. There's one post for my first run. I'm going to be running a lot more. And I'm always going to have at least one item from MeUndies on me while I do these runs. This time around, it was the ice cream boxers. And never has my ass been so sweaty, yet so comfortable.
That's the me undies, me runsie guarantee.
Right. And it's not an ad. MeUndies doesn't know I'm doing this. I hope they find out one day, though.
I think if you hit a certain amount of people, I think
I need people to follow me.
Yeah.
I need people to follow me. And I need to get a couple more runs. And the next run I'm doing, I'm going to be wearing my pizza MeUndies socks.
Only.
Yeah. The rest of me will be bare.
Yeah.
So, I'll make my posts. I'll post my routes and everything like that. And it'll be motivational.
I like it.
I like it too. All right. So week 1 of the month of Strange Brews, Halloween month, best time of the year. I love it. I like fall.
Fall's great.
I like Halloween. I like haunted houses. I like paranormal stuff. We're in it. And we're talking about a topic that we've never talked about on the program.
No.
Which you have some information on, a lot of information on, actually.
I did
in your handy Dudes with Brews on a Porch and notebook where you can get on TeePublic. And you're also wearing the Dudes with Brews on the Porch zip up hoodie.
I am.
You're decked out.
It's my it's autumn. So this is perfect sweatshirt for
Sweatshirt
fall.
season. So I'm
Wow, this beer makes me burp a little bit.
gives you a little burp.
Doesn't taste like it smells. Did you notice that? Like you smell
Right,
it and then you
right.
taste it and you'd think it would taste differently based on how it smells.
It doesn't like the look of it is deceiving because it's not
Yeah.
like it's like medium. I guess it's like got a medium mouthfeel to it. It's not too heavy.
No, yeah. It's a very interesting beer. It's hard to pin down the taste. It's hard to pin down the look. It's hard to pin down the smell.
Scotch ales, not my favorite, but this one's not bad.
All right. So what do you want to just jump into this?
Yeah, so we're talking about goblins today,
Yeah.
which
Goblin, gooey.
I never
goblins.
really thought of whenever considering the Strange Brew episode. And if you've done the research, you've done the homework, and it's interesting. I like
Goblins are super interesting.
it. Okay.
Especially if you like when you get into like goblins and pixies and what I'm trying to think if it's goblins that are Irish. There's that the whole Irish lore of the things that steal your babies and stuff. Do you know what those are? I forget.
The things that steal your babies.
Yeah, they like they can steal babies and they can actually impersonate people. But I can't.
Shapeshifters?
They might be fairies. That's what it is. It's fairies.
Oh, word?
If you look into what actual fairies are, I'm pretty sure it's fairies. In
Crazy.
Yeah, in Ireland and Scotland. Like I'm pretty sure it's more Ireland though.
Right.
Yeah, they like people. There's like a famous murder case where somebody like this guy was so convinced that his wife had been switched with a fairy, like a fairy stole her and had taken her place, that he ended up like burning her to death. Because that's like there's all these things that you can do. You can slowly poison somebody, or you can like babies. They used to like take like hot metal and put it over like because like heating like heat was bad. Like they didn't like fairies don't like the heat.
Oh, okay.
So like, but basically torturing people because they thought that they were replaced by fairies, and like that's another episode because I don't have all the info on that, but that's a really interesting topic too. And honestly, all that stuff kind of fits into the like magical underworld of like elves and pixies, fairies, goblins.
Okay.
And what we'll start out, I've got. Before we get into some real cases of goblins, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to get a little refresher on goblins, and there's apparently 10 types of goblins.
Okay.
So do I want to cite myself now, or do we cite ourselves at the end?
I don't know how that works.
Well, whatever. I found this stuff on mysticfiles.com.
Okay. That's fine.
/ 10 types of goblins. For anybody that wants to, whatever. Follow along. So first off, like goblins refer to many types of magical creatures, but the unifying trait that makes a goblin is a sense of evil or mischievousness, at least embodied by a grotesque, or mischievousness at least, and then that's embodied by a grotesque form with a general link to darkness. They don't like the light, apparently.
Okay.
So that's like what makes these
Like
things
the umbrella
fit. Yeah. So these 10,
characteristics.
10 things fit. So the top 10 countdown for types of goblins.
What if it's just a really ugly little person?
If they're
What if it's an evil ugly person?
If they're
Little
not-
ugly person.
if they're prone to trickery and evil, then and they don't like the light, then yeah.
What's
The
the height?
Hunchback of Notre Dame might be considered a goblin. I can say that
The one movie where he doesn't get the girl at the end.
yeah, that's why it's probably the best. You know, it's true to
The
life.
more realistic version of those Disney movies is, if you're ugly, odds are.
Yeah, odds are you're going to get locked away in a clock tower and not get the girl. And we need to teach people that.
Whoops. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Also, I should say before we get into the top 10, not even the top 10, I don't know why I say it, the only 10 apparently that I could find at least, types of goblins. Say the term goblin comes from the Greek word, and I might be butchering this,
Midget.
but it's kabalos. Kabalos, which means rogue. It's a Greek for rogue.
So it's just a rogue small person, huh?
Apparently,
All right.
yeah. Which that's what I play in D&D. So apparently,
A rogue small person?
yeah.
So you're a goblin?
Right now, I have a
Rogue elf?
halfling rogue.
And what game is this?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There's an episode. I did an episode where we played Dungeons and Dragons.
We should play. I joined a LARP group on that meetup app.
Group?
But I haven't seen a post by them. I want to go do some live action role play.
Do you really?
Yeah.
They do that in town?
I think it's in Oshkosh or in Madison or something.
Huh.
You want me to let you know?
I will just watch.
Why? Why wouldn't you? How could you not get into that?
Let's talk about
Alas me matey.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
that's pirate. They probably are more medieval. Like Shanty with a malalas.
shillings, you fair wench.
There you go. See, you're better at it than I am.
Bloody hell. All right, goblins.
Feel my steel. In a war way, not a sexual way. Lass.
Okay.
Edit that out, please.
Nope.
Damn it.
That's in. All right.
Okay. Let's get into these genres, the types of goblins, which goblins range from Northern Europe to the Mediterranean area to Japan, and then later on we will talk about American goblins. The first one is hobgoblins.
Hobgoblin?
Yeah, which
we have Hobbs Woods.
Yeah.
You think that's based off a goblin?
I don't know.
All
We
right.
should go do an investigation.
Let's go hunt for goblins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hobgoblins are thought to be the most benign. They're tricksters. They love to mess with humans directly or through like thievery. So like they'll play tricks like moving stuff around on you or
I like that.
yeah, they're but they don't do anything like malicious.
They just fuck with you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And then they also have a labor relationship with humans where they do like manual labor chores or tasks for some type of treat.
They steal your socks. Maybe that's what happens.
That could be.
Or your Tupperware.
Which honestly, they like I said, they like the warmth, and so they'll do it like just to stay like so maybe hot socks. They take
Dude.
and they only need one because they're small. That's their hat.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, hobgoblins are stealing our sock.
That's why you can't ever find that matching pair.
Yep,
All right.
and that's would be the trickster in them, because why would you never take two? God damn it! And then as soon as you throw that odd one out, that's when they wait and they take another one.
And then they put the other one back.
Yeah, or that.
See?
Yeah. And these are just little things. They didn't get deep into whatever.
Yeah,
but,
they are little things. They're
so-
goblins.
Well, I mean, these little.
That's a joke.
Yes, I know. Okay, so now this one I don't know how to pronounce. The Kalksu. It's KOL''KSU. How do you think that's what?
Kolksu?
Kolkasu?
I don't know.
Well, this is a water goblin.
Ugh. Sounds gross.
Thought of as mermaids with attitude. So they look kind of like mermaids.
They have fins and shit? Or the tail?
Yeah, they're like and they stay underwater.
So it's like an ugly mermaid.
Well, sort of, but at the same time, it says they have
Aren't mermaids supposed to be ugly?
white irises set in dragon-like eyes with their white hair. It makes them eerily beautiful.
Huh.
If you like that scale fin
You
puss,
gotta get past that.
butte.
Beauty is within, Rob.
Yeah. Within the dragon eyes.
Yeah.
But
Okay. What do they do?
They're carnivorous.
They eat meat?
Yes. And they're pretty they're not friendly towards anything but their own kind. So if you find yourself in their territory underwater, you disappear.
Doesn't that happen
they
in,
just
like-
don't find you.
Isn't that in a movie or a video game where you can't fuck with the mermaid?
Did you play Inside?
No. There's like a game or a movie though where like you gotta stay away from the mermaids, isn't it?
Harry Potter.
Is it?
There's in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
They deal with some mermaids.
No, I don't know, man.
And you can't go but they're
Maybe
nice.
they're goblins.
Yeah, but they're nice. The mermaids and that, unless you try and take too many people, then they can be.
Not
very
the thing
mean.
I saw. These ones were fucking mean.
There's a game called Inside where there's like a.
It's not in God of War, is it?
I didn't play all of God of War.
There's more than one.
I didn't play any Gods of War.
Okay.
But yeah, basically it just says that they will not leave any evidence of you if you fall into if they decide that you're in their territory and they're taking you out, they're taking you out.
They'll eat you and shit.
It didn't say that specifically, but it did make a point to say they're carnivorous and they don't leave evidence.
All right. So they're gonna eat you.
I'm gonna say they eat you. And the eighth type of goblin, and this one I think most people probably know about these, they're called knockers. Which they live in mines. They do have contact with humans and near contact with humans. And they're not necessarily malicious. If miners are in good favor with the knockers, they'll actually warn miners of cave-ins with gentle knocking in the mine. Like they'll knock on the rails or on something like. And this has been reported a lot actually, where miners have heard light knocks before a cave-in. But if you're not in good favor, if you've like disrespected them or you whatever, don't believe in them or. You'd have to talk to a miner about how you fall out of favor with the knockers, but they'll knock very hard to cause the cave-in to happen faster so that you can't get out. Yeah.
Cool.
So, mining, wouldn't want to be a miner, I don't think.
Does that still happen?
I think they just strip mine now.
Yeah.
Safer, cheaper, worse for the planet. Works all around.
So knockers, I mean, they're not as effective anymore.
I don't know.
I've never met a miner.
Neither have I.
I mean, I've met miners that are under 18,
Yeah.
but never a miner.
Well, we don't live in a mining, if you get into, this is where we'll get into later, where in Kentucky and Virginia or West Virginia, where those are mining areas.
Sure.
And that's actually where there's these issues where there's sightings, goblin sightings and stuff in the United States. So maybe they're knockers that have, because there's not as much mining going on, they're straying outside of the mines.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we're getting into number 7, the hog boon or the hog boy.
The hog boon and the hog boy.
Yeah, it just said hog boon or hog boy, so it must be known by either or.
The hog.
Yes. I don't know why they wouldn't. If I was that goblin, I would probably want hog to be the thing that changed, not the boon part, but whatever. So these are friendly earth goblins. So they bring luck to farmers.
So these are cool ones then.
Yeah, these are good ones. They're very generous. And they can when they inflict good luck on you on your farm, you'll obviously have a good bounty or whatever. But if you're not generous with them, then they can get very fickle and actually cause you to have bad luck and cause your land to not grow anything.
What do you think they do to do that? They just piss all over the stuff and they have really potent pee or something?
That sounds right to me. Yeah, they're one with the land.
Hey, Farmer Jim, you fucked with me, I fuck with the crops. Take this.
That's how I imagine most of them talk.
Yeah, that or a really deep version of that, probably.
Oh, hey, make a deal. Hello.
I wish we had one of those little knobby things.
Yeah.
I want to hear your goblin voice mixed with little Darth Vader.
Look, I'm your father.
I guess it is Yoda, isn't it? What I just described potentially.
Yeah, might be.
Yeah.
All right. So these are the good ones.
So these are probably some of the better ones for sure.
So far, my favorite's still the Hob.
And if you, and also apparently if you steal from a hog boon, they can bring bad luck on you that actually causes death.
All right.
So don't steal directly from them. But if you're not generous to them, all they're going to do is screw up your life for a while.
I mean, what does it take to be nice to a goblin? Do you just gotta feed them
share some of your food.
Give them some jelly beans or something?
And if you know that your crops are going to be better because you shared some crops,
fuck yeah.
I think that's worth it.
I have the goblin family over every Wednesday.
Yeah, right? Which, honestly, if you're, and I'm sure that anybody with kids that's listening to this, if they know what the elf on the shelf is, or if they know what's that other one? We did some of these on the Christmas episode.
Elf on the Shelf, isn't it?
Well, there's Elf on the Shelf, and then there's one other one where there's another Christmas tradition that's a quote unquote elf or something, but they're actually forms of goblins that basically like the Elf on the Shelf is a trick, like plays tricks,
right?
And you want to leave a treat out for him or whatever, and if you don't,
dude, Santa's like a big goblin then.
Kinda, yeah.
Because if you're bad, he gives you coal. You gotta leave cookies out for him for his fat ass.
Yeah, he's like a trickster on a mental level, like psychological.
Some like Chris Angel shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So the next number 6 is the Trow.
The Trow.
This is the generic goblin. This is when you think of a goblin. Most people, when they
green,
when they picture a
little
short
hair,
they're picturing the Trow.
Okay.
So they take, but sometimes like they can change their form, and sometimes they take the form of humans, but normally they are short, misshapen, and deformed. They're nocturnal tricksters that tend to be invisible to humans. With grand gold and silver dwellings that are filled with, they have the best food and wine apparently.
Huh.
I don't know.
I'm not really.
I
I tried some wine last night, and I'm still not into it.
Not a wine guy.
Nah.
Yeah. That's one of the things that's weird. Is like there was a time when I loved wine, but it only lasted 6 months, and now I don't know.
No?
Yeah, it was weird. Comes and goes.
Just like a little fling, huh?
I guess it should say it came and went, and it's not
came
come
and
back.
went. I've met some people that I think could be goblins for sure, like the Trows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got a little Trow going in your life.
I'm not right now,
but you have, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so I just got my notebook wet. It's condensation. Blame it on the goblins.
Fucking goblins.
My ink is running. So number 5 is the Tengu. Tengu. It's Tengu. This is a Japanese goblin. It means heavenly dog.
Heavenly dog.
That's what that's what Tengu means apparently.
Heavenly dog. All right.
At least that's what it refers to in terms of a goblin in Japanese culture. Likes to take the form of a dog-like Chinese demon named Tiangu.
That sounds horrible.
Right? Or it prefers a bird of prey-like appearance. So it's either a large bird of prey that takes that. So it's kind of like
shapeshifts?
Yeah, it's kind of a shape-shifting demon. I don't know if it qualifies. I don't know what qualifies this as a goblin over maybe a dragon or a demonic something.
Right.
But let's read on and find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
So Buddhists used to believe that these were the harbingers of death. But have come to it, in over the centuries, they've come to start to think of them more as guardian spirits of the mountains to be feared but respected.
Yeah, I'd respect a scary ass looking dog or a bird of prey.
Yeah, right. So, and it's like they didn't have too much on this one, but I do really have that question of why is that considered a goblin? Because I'm not seeing the trickster nature. I'm only seeing the demonic nature of it.
Maybe it's just a real woke list, and they're like, well, we have to throw some Japanese people in here.
Could be, but I don't
diversity.
I don't know why they didn't put America, like they put nothing on our side of the world.
Well, because we're everywhere, man.
List. Yeah, I guess. This goes back to like the,
PC culture?
1500 BC. Yeah,
Just kidding.
BC culture. Hashtag BC culture. I like that. We should start that. All right. So it didn't really have much on that one. But number 4 is the
I'm
kobold.
good with AD culture right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
The ADD culture.
Whatever.
Kobold.
Squirrel.
What?
You said ADD.
Where? Yeah.
So I said,
Huh? What? Yeah.
You got it.
Oh,
All right.
we go?
Continue.
We good.
Sorry.
Got it. Good. Okay. Kobold.
Like the
Kobold
shrimp.
is a German goblin.
Okay.
So yeah, we're getting around. This is a versatile goblin. It lives on ships, in homes, or in mines. This goblin can be
Mines too,
anywhere.
huh?
Most inhabit homes, though. They help with chores unless they are neglected or insulted, in which case they turn to malicious tricks.
Why would you insult the person that's doing chores for you?
This is This is like
gotta be
this,
a real piece of
this-
shit to
This
do
is
that.
the other one that kind of it's not the elf on the shelf, but it's that other. There's another spirit that supposedly stays in your home all year round, and then you do something for it in the winter, and it became known as something else around Christmas. But it was really this goblin spirit or this goblin thing that would help you around the house, and then you had to just do little things to say, "Hey, I remember that you're here," and I
Rub
appreciate
its
it.
belly.
Had something to do with a cat.
Can't, huh?
I feel like either it doesn't like cats or it does like cats. I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't quote me on that, people. We're not going to edit it out, but don't quote me on it. Underground kobolds are the most, like, they're the notorious. They're they're not nice. And actually, the element cobalt was named after kobold goblins because of the way that that element would make miners feel sick
Okay.
and ill. They were blaming it on kobolds.
So like the black lung is on from goblins, maybe.
Well, it wasn't a black lung. It was cobalt sickness, which is different than black lung.
All right.
Get your metal rocks straight, your mineralogy. Your
They're not
elemental-
rocks. They're minerals, Marie.
Yeah.
Breaking
Did
Bad.
you said that before?
I've
2
said
weeks
it.
ago, I think.
Have I?
And and I didn't get it then either. Damn it.
I'm still rewatching Breaking Bad. New Breaking Bad movie coming out soon.
Seriously?
Yeah, on Netflix. October 11th, dude. I'm excited.
With Heisenberg?
Have you ever watched to the end of
I thought I
Breaking
was going to
Bad?
get you on a spoiler.
I'm not gonna
I was waiting
say
for
what
you to
happened.
I was waiting for you to say yes or no, and then I was going to say you just spoiled the ending, didn't you, for me? So you're a good guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to. It's a great show. It's a good ride.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, though, that the kobold got named after a goblin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So number 3, there's no way that I'm going to get this one. It's Calicantzeros.
Okay.
It's a Greek goblin.
Another Greek one, huh?
Yeah, this one lives deep underground. Well, goblin itself comes from a Greek term,
word, yeah.
which most words in English do come from Greek. You know,
thought it was Latin.
and Greek, whatever.
Oh,
Aren't they the same?
I have no idea.
Does anybody care anymore?
I'm not cultured.
Yeah, we'll say it's the same.
Okay.
So they live deep underground. Their goal, these ones are kind of weird, man. Their goal in their life goal is to cut through what they call the earth tree. And when they cut down the earth tree, they hope it takes the earth down with it.
They're like your classic like evil villain from James Bond's movies. Like, I plan to rule the world. I'm going to cut the earth tree.
They're almost like who's
do Greek people sound
the
like?
guy from the Minions with the Minions?
Gru?
Steve Carell played him in that
Yeah,
movie.
Gru.
I don't know.
Despicable Me. His name's Gru.
Yeah, okay, that guy. That's kind of what I imagine these ones as. Like they have this
He's
ridiculous plan to do something evil, and then like this is what's crazy.
Oh, I'm going to cut down
Yeah.
the earth tree. I'm going to bring you down with.
So at some point, I don't know who made.
I don't know
this-
what Greek
yeah,
people sound like. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wish I was Greek.
I met a Greek person in first grade once, and then he disappeared.
I'm trying to think of what the stereotypical Greek is on, like when somebody makes fun of a Greek
Nothing.
person. But what's like a Persian
Great people are
nightclub
great.
owner?
Maybe.
Well,
They got great food.
they
got
but I'm just
great
saying
mythology.
I'm trying to think of what the
Greece has got some cool shit in it. I mean,
every place has cool shit in it.
yeah, I guess.
If it's left out for a while.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. I can think of what I just can't think of. I couldn't do it anyway if I wanted to.
I can't do accents.
So anyway, to somehow like I don't know who created this rule, but as a way to stop them from cutting down the world tree and ending the earth,
Piss on them.
somebody gave. That's your answer for everything. Since you got a dog, it's all piss on this and piss on that.
Well, my dog does piss on this and piss on that,
Well, you should piss on your
but
dog.
he won't piss on your heart.
Then you could say you're mine.
Yeah.
He pissed on my heart.
Then he shit in your mouth.
Now I have worms. Somebody gave these goblins leave from the underground and said they could go from December 25th.
weed?
Leave, as in like if you're in the Navy,
Like a leave of absence.
Yeah, like they get to come to the surface from December 25th to January 6th, which makes them forget about their goals. So they come up here and party it up on the surface.
They just get so fucked up that
And
they
by
have
the time they go back down, the world tree is healed, and they have to start all over again. So I don't know who gave them who was like, I can't let them destroy the world tree, so let's give them a week off, and they get like a Rammspringer.
do they get a Rumspringa?
Yeah, and then when they get back, they're like, God, every year the tree grows. Why do we do this every year? And then by the time December,
I mean, do they
25th
get
comes
get
back,
paid to do this?
That's just no. They get paid in potential world domination.
They just say, "Hey, you can come up here." Why don't they just go up there all the time?
I don't know. I don't know who made the rule.
Huh?
I think whoever is trying to it's like the person who told us that we needed to get gold or something, but it's not, it's
gold.
Yeah. They told us it was worth stuff, and then we realized it wasn't, or I don't know. That's a bad metaphor. But either way, basically they're sawing the.
We're talking about the end of the world here, Rob. Gold ain't shit.
Gold is just rocks, just like sawing the tree is nothing, especially when it grows back.
Gold's a
every
mineral.
week. Yeah.
Not rocks, they're minerals.
Did I say rock?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, it's a mineral. You're right. I'm sorry, and I did say rock. But what is a mineral but a rock? When the world
Or
ends,
Dwayne
and
Johnson.
when human beings aren't around to categorize it, it's just
Well,
becomes a rock again.
it's not Dwayne the Mineral Johnson.
Maybe it should be
It's not as
because that dude
intimidating.
is cut.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
He is.
it's sad. It's sad when you look at a man who's almost 60 or whatever, however old he is.
I don't know that he's almost 60.
He's got to be 55.
No. Dwayne Johnson? 55? No.
All right.
40s.
You think
in
he's 40s? I
Yeah.
think he's 50 at least.
Really?
Yeah. Like we're looking this
He's
up.
going to outlive us anyways.
Yeah, we're putting goblins on the back burner.
We got to learn about Dwayne the Mineral Johnson.
Yeah.
What would your wrestling name be?
Rob the stutter and fill. I don't know. So
That's what it'd just be. Rob the Phillips.
Yeah.
I like that. He may stutter in his speech, but his moves in the ring
Yeah.
are smooth and swift.
You don't see him coming, and you can't make sense of him.
I'd be Drew the Slice Glazer, and then my logo would be a piece of pizza.
I like that.
So like my specialty move would be at the end of the match when the person's getting winded, I take a very hot slice of pizza out of my back pocket. I
All right.
slap their fucking face.
He was born in 72,
72?
so he's almost
82,
50.
92, 02. Yeah, I was right. 2012. Yeah.
He's closer to 50 than he is to 40.
I said 40s.
You were right there.
I got
okay.
10 years. That was right. All right.
Well,
Now that that's cleared up, Back to the goblins.
All right, we just finished up on the Greek tree cutters.
I think
I
that'd
feel
be
bad for them.
that'd be a fun movie.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good comedy.
Well, I actually read a book called what was it? 1Q84.
Okay.
And it was like it was about like these people that like they somehow got shifted off into a different like dimension. So it was 1984, but it was 1Q84 because things weren't going the right way, and it had to do with dwarves or goblins and what they called little people that would make these. They would pull threads out of the air and create crystals. It was a really good book, actually.
Okay.
No bearing here. I don't know why I brought that up, but what you just said reminded me of it.
Okay.
It was a good book, and it had to do a little bit about something.
Sure. How many more goblin varieties do we have? 2 left?
2.
All right.
Down to 2.
Down to 2.
All right. Number 2. Fuka.
Fuka?
Fuka is an Irish
Fuka me.
kobold.
Fuka you.
Fuka you. Fuka. Damn it. I did it backwards. All right. I'm not good at that.
Fuka.
Yeah. I hit that Fuka too
I didn't
hard.
mean that in like a derogatory sense. It's just a fun word to say. Fuka.
Yeah, it is. You're gonna get messed with by the Fukas because you made fun of their name.
Are the moms called Mother Fukas?
You mother Fukas.
Oh, God. That's funny.
They are, but it doesn't mean what you'd think it would mean.
I like it. What's going on here? Hold on.
It just means a Fuka with kids.
All right. Yeah.
So this is an Irish kobold, which
So it's like it's just,
underground, deep underground goblin.
okay.
Considered harmless, but tricky. Has many shapes it can take, but it prefers a pitch black dog or a flame-eyed horse.
So, like, are we just? They choose to come out into the world like this.
I think so.
So they're really like these little short, ugly motherfuckers, but they can shape
Yeah, they're
shift into. So
like,
then the Japanese one makes sense then.
Goblins are magical creatures, that can
Right.
shapeshift. So it disguises itself as a timid creature to travelers, only to lead them through thorny and muddy areas and leave them behind in remote muddy areas while laughing. To ward them off from. So basically, it said it will disguise itself as like a timid dog or a horse, and when you ride the horse, it'll then take the rider off path through a bunch of thorny bushels, and then buck the rider off into some muddy,
really?
murky water, and then laugh as it rides away to warn them that they should not trust any horse that passes them by. That's what it said, basically.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, and I don't know when they decide to come out from the underground, those ones, but that's what a Fuka is. They are kind of mother Fukas. And then the number 1 on the
They
list.
get bucked off the horse and they just go Fuka.
Fuka you.
Fooked again.
The last one is a bogey or boogie. Boogie or a bogey.
Okay.
It's I think it's boogie. This is the smallest form of goblin.
Okay.
It's very ephemeral and hard to kill.
Ooh.
Black in color, and they live in dark places of common houses like attics, basements, cupboards, or closets.
I'm just like picturing it like tarry. You know, like when you say black in color, like it's just like dripping in tar.
Yeah, I kind of
That's like-
yeah.
I don't know why. That's just
yeah.
what I think.
I guess I kind of thought of that more kind of like a like a shadowy creature or something.
Sure,
That's what I was
okay.
thinking of more.
Yeah, fair
But they love to pop out and scare children and adults in the houses that they reside in, and this is what created the term boogeyman.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of
Look at
things,
that.
yeah, some kind of interesting things with that lore. The
boogeyman came from goblins, huh?
Kobold came from goblins, and
Huh.
yeah,
Who knew?
who knew?
So now there's some like real life encounters with goblins and some pretty famous stories, especially in
Hopkinsville,
Kentucky.
I think it's the Sutton family, right?
This is back in
55.
Back in 55. Yeah, so there was 5 adults, 7 children. They went to the police station. They said that it was a small alien, which I guess you could definitely confuse a goblin to be an alien. They said,
I don't know when they determined that it was a goblin instead of but I've always heard this story as it was goblins or a goblin.
it says that they were attacking the farmhouse from a spacecraft, holding them with gunfire for nearly 4 hours. 2 of the adults, Elmer Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor.
That does not sound like goblins. That definitely sounds like aliens.
It sounds like fucking aliens.
I wonder why that came up under the goblins then.
They claimed they had been shooting at 12 to 15 short, dark figures who repeatedly popped up at the doorway or peered into the windows.
I guess technically, if they're short, misshapen, grotesque, magical creatures,
Yeah?
that have malicious intent or are tricksters, which these ones were. Because what I remember hearing about this back when I watched, I watched something on it like 10 years ago, probably. They were doing things like they were like banging on one window and then they were like really just with no real clear reason just freaking these people out.
Which would be like the trickery or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe that's why they got categorized as goblins. But there was enough this was big news back then. I'm pretty sure it was actually made a police report and made and this was in where is that? Was that in Kentucky?
Yeah. Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Is there anything interesting on there, or do you want to get into the hellier stuff?
It just says, it just gives that's pretty much all it says, is that there were a bunch of little creatures and they were green. So they were green.
I think about that back in 1955.
This is
let
regarded.
alone today. If you had little green creatures circling your house in spaceships and then knocking on your windows, but you lived out in the middle of nowhere, this is a time before instant community. I guess there were phones and stuff, but it wasn't like nowadays where if you say, hey, there's goblins around my house, it's a little bit you say that back in 1955 and you are going to a loony bin where you do not want to end up in 55. I mean, imagine those kids. If you were a kid and there's things banging on your windows and there are these little green things with guns, and God, that would be horrible. They
say it's one of the most well-documented and most significant cases of a UFO incident.
I think that they were getting that activity all the time. It was pretty, which is what happens later on in Hellier.
So their explanation of it, they said they were about 2 to 4 feet. They had large pointed ears, claw-like hands, eyes that glowed yellow, and spiny legs. So that would be close to a goblin, I would think. Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. But yeah, it goes back to the kind of the little green men type of explanation.
I wonder where were we in air travel in 1955? I mean, I guess that's after World War II, so there was already jets and stuff.
Interesting.
But you're also in the middle of a world Cold War and stuff is going on, so it's it's just an interesting time, and I would just it really sets up in that area, in the Kentucky, Pennsylvania, West Virginia area. There's stuff that goes back to the 1800s, and then there's documented cases by prevalent people into the early 1900s of Thunderbirds and crazy bat things, and then you fast forward to around I forget when Kecksburg happened, but all these things that happen in that area, and they're very well documented. Those people by now are so they just don't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
And that's where there's that there's a documentary called Hellier. It's a doc series on Netflix that gets into the goblins of Kentucky. And I watched that a while ago, but that was actually really interesting too, because it really, it almost like went right along the lines of the Hopkinsville, where like people were getting pranked by these little things that were coming out at night, and you could see them with like, if you use like a thermal camera or had like where like on your camera you can see you could see them on that, but they were invisible otherwise, and like they would be running around in people's backyards and stuff. And
Oh, really?
yeah, it's and that doc series went through a whole bunch of stuff where it even got into like some of the Cornstalk, the leader of the Native American tribe that like gets all into the Mothman stuff. But that Hellier documentary series is pretty good, actually. It was worth watching.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a Netflix doc. So
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
I will say this, I brought this up. Actually, it's if you go back far enough. We talked about it on this podcast, because I remember telling you about how I liked it, but they said synchronicity way too much. And I was getting really mad at them because everything was, the synchronicity. Like they just came off as like the equivalent of like a surfer dude that was like, like synchronicity. It's all synchronicity. Everything's synchronicity. It reminds me of that one episode that I kept saying threshold. I kept saying, it's a threshold, and it pissed me off after. I listened to it afterwards, and I was like, God, I sound like an idiot. So stupid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean...
That was back when I listened to the episodes, like, right when they posted, and then I would, like, critique myself harshly.
Yeah?
I don't do that so much anymore.
No.
I'm getting to be a more well-rounded, healthy person.
Good.
That
Good
researches goblins.
Research, yeah.
Fuka.
Fuka you. I'm trying to find some goblin folklore in America.
Really, that's where you're gonna find it in the mining towns of West Virginia and in the mountain. I think the Appalachian Mountains. That's where you're gonna find it.
Okay. There was a goblin of Easton, so they're talking about a monk on a mission.
I saw something about this.
Loved money and power more than he loved God. So he wasn't really a good monk. He would hear the confession of the good folk who attended the mission, and then it would blackmail them into giving them gold and silver to keep their darkest secrets, turned many a wayward sinner's feet towards the fires of hell rather than the gates of heaven, encouraging their crimes in secret while he would talk shit about them in public. So it was after he beat one poor old woman to death that the evil monk was imprisoned and sentenced to hang for his crimes. But just after he was cut down from the noose and pronounced dead, his corpse began to transform because that motherfucker was a goblin. His face got twisted. He had tusks sprang from either side of his nose. So this is a real fucking haggard looking goblin. White hair, looked greasy. Pointed canines emerged from his slit mouth. And the goblin monk opened his eyes that glowed yellow in the light of a noonday. Sprang to feet that now ended in claws rather than toes.
When you read this stuff, it's real easy to kind of just go, "Oh, that's crazy." But imagine like
seeing that
for real.
I know.
Like I know that there's a story, and this is supposedly true. I don't know.
This happened in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's that's right in that Appalachian area. But there's like this the red dwarf or something like that.
This is on AmericanFolklore.net, by the way.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Also, well, actually, we don't need to get into that because we didn't do anything on those documentaries. So I will cite those when we get into it. Yeah. There's on an episode of Lore, the podcast, he talked about I don't know exactly. It was like a red dwarf or something. It was like a little red creature that back when the United States, it was still colonized and whatever, there was somebody who somehow got good fortune from this little red creature or something, or he had good fortune, and then that's what it is. He had good fortune, and he had like a lot of land, and he was getting a lot of money and all that, and then he had a psychic or like a mystic of some sort, like an old lady that warned him that at some point he was going to see the red, like in their culture, I forget what culture, if he was Irish or if he was German or whatever, this red dwarf, they were like, there's going to appear to you, and it's going to take, you're going to lose all your power or whatever. And when the red dwarf showed up, instead of like giving it what it wanted, he hit it with his cane or something like that, and then he ended up losing everything and dying a horrible death.
There's I'm looking at an article right now, and it just has like a bunch of miniature mischief makers in the world of folklore. So like the German kobold.
That's one of them. That's we talked about the kobold.
Pixies.
Yeah.
They got the English pixies. Those are mischief makers of the English folklore, more commonly found in West County or Country, Devon and Cornwall. I don't know what the fuck that is. They're small spirits. They wear natural colors, greens, browns. They play pranks. They love to do it. They love to cause mischief. And they're blamed for all sorts of minor upsets, such as like a blown out candle, a mysterious tapping, things getting lost. Yeah. So they blame the pixies, which is kind of what you could be like with some of these, with like the Hob.
Yeah.
The Hob.
Well, it's really, and that's trickster gods, goblins, fairies, pixies. Like those things are so prevalent because it's like we want to attribute this like crazy chaos that we live to something. So really, like we were talking about the fairies in Ireland. Mm-hmm. If somebody all of a sudden like changed their personality, or started wearing different clothes, or started like started saying words that they normally wouldn't say, or if a baby started crying, like it would be something as simple as that. Like if your baby was well mannered, or even was born and was a grumpy baby that cried a lot, they would blame it on the fairies, and they would assume that the fairies came and took your baby away. Sure. And in their lore, where the fairies would take the people that they kidnapped, they took them to a land that was great, and they took care of these people. They took care
Peter Pan.
Yeah, they took care of the babies. They took care of whoever got, because it wasn't just babies or children. It was also adults that would get swapped.
Oh, sweet!
But they would be taken to a place where they were like treated well and everything like that. Meanwhile, back here in reality, the people around them would go, I think that this person's been abducted by fairies and that's an imposter. And they would poison them with like mercury. They would they would burn their flesh with hot steel. They would do all these just like horrible torture to infants, to like women, to whatever, like anybody that just because you change your, like, Lord forbid you
have a bad day.
Like you have a bad day, or you have an epiphany where you go, you know what? I'm not going to be I'm going to be a happy person from now on. Like even that could do it. You know, it's like.
So there's a.
I'm gonna wear stockings instead of lining casters. Yeah, don't look it up. That's right.
Just a quick thing here. There's a French variety of the hobgoblin. So they're called lutkins, or lutins, I don't fucking know. Lutins. They have they do all the tricks.
They don't shave their legs or their armpits.
Oddly enough, their unique skill is hair-related mischief. They love to create knots in the hairs of horses or people who've been known to cut off the hair from unsuspecting sleeping humans as well. They have special magical objects such as a hat, which bestows the power of invisibility. So a very handy tool when playing pranks. But they can be frightened off with a thankfully plentiful resource, which is just a liberal sprinkling of salt.
Oh, okay. And that might be where that salt over your shoulder goes, like bad luck. because
Yeah,
goblins
could be.
said to get bad luck. I don't know if that's true or not, but that
I
sounds
believe
about right.
it. This
Which
one
honestly,
off mentalfloss.com.
there was some, because I didn't write down everything verbatim on that from that Mystic site.
Yeah.
And one of the goblins on there said something about one of the goblins, the tricks that they would play is they would braid the tail of it, like the mane of a horse, or they did do stuff with hair.
Okay.
So there's another one in there that does similar stuff like that.
Cool.
But they didn't say anything about a hat that I heard or the salt.
So, Rob, do you believe in goblins?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
You believe the goblins are around?
I believe, honestly, now we can't forget about this question, because I'm going to bring this up in our next couple episodes, because some of the other stuff that I researched is going to get into why I potentially believe in all paranormal stuff.
Okay.
And I don't want to bring that up now, because I'll bring it up when we have the evidence to back it up from witnesses and whatever. But yes, I tend to believe in I want everything to be real. Bigfoot, Nessie,
For sure.
goblins, fairies, whatever, you
want to
name it.
you want to live in the world of Harry Potter.
I just want to believe that it's all like that humans aren't as all knowing as we think we are.
We're not.
We think that we've got it all figured out, and it's like maybe we don't.
Right. I like it. We drank Stone Arch Brewing handcrafted beer, the Scottish style ale from Appleton, Wisconsin. Definitely medium bodied. Definitely, had that earthy color, the low bitterness, touch of. You got the caramel taste a little bit, maybe, and the aftertaste a little bit. Like I said before, I'm not really a huge Scottish ale guy. Honestly, I really, they're okay. This one was fine. It went down smooth. It tasted right.
I wouldn't
have
drink
it again.
this. I wouldn't recommend this personally.
I probably wouldn't have it again.
Yeah. This, based on the way it's the smell of it, the taste of it, the feel of it, the way it sits. Not the beer I'd reach for.
No.
I didn't really like it.
Okay. Well,
it was drinkable, but I it's not. I didn't think it was that great.
Yeah,
of a beer.
drinkable, but not the best, not the worst. So the month of Strange Brew will continue next week. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Dudes with Brews Pod. You can like us on or follow us on Twitter at Dudes on a Porch. Find us on Facebook. Make sure you're following me Runsies on Instagram to learn about me running in MeUnsies and MeUndies.
Yeah,
and they're funny. They're fun. Funsies.
I should say too, if anybody has questions like that, they don't like. I guess you don't. You just put that on the, because I don't have the. Do I have the Facebook stuff?
Yeah.
I guess I just never go on it. I was gonna say otherwise, just go to my Facebook at Robert Phillips, but.
Well, they'd have to be your friend.
So.
Okay. They'd have to find you, the Robert Phillips.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Instead of one of the.
I just feel like I don't, because I guess I just need to check our Facebook more.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I came in late to the game, I consider that your stuff.
I got it under control.
I know, but I want to.
But you can look at it.
I don't know what the emails are. I don't know what the comments are, and I'd like.
We don't get a lot of comments on Facebook.
Okay, well then, good. Maybe it's not good.
That's all right.
Start commenting on Facebook.
Buy some shit too from TeePublic. All right.
That's a little harsh.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
All right. We'll see you next week. We're hopefully getting some guests soon.
Yeah. We've got guests lined up, but this is the month of spooky episodes.
Whoa, with spooky people.
Yeah.
Talking about spooky things.
Yeah, we've got a guest for this month, right? We already talked about Todd.
Yep. And potentially somebody else too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Cool.
That's it.
Make sure you feed your hobgoblins.
Leave out some milk. Make it warm.
Make it warm. Watch that earth tree. And
keep the salt in your pocket just in case you piss them off. Motherfuckers.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.